Hello, it is your vaguely person-shaped thing M here, and welcome to the Emth degree. So before we get underway here, just a little bit of background of what this is. No, I am not a brand new, I don't know why my voice just cracked there. I am not necessarily a new channel. I've been around YouTube for a long time. I've been on YouTube since I believe 2006, and I've got other channels that I'll link somewhere either here or in the doobly-doo. The fact that I'm calling it a doobly-doo should show you how long I've been around here. I wanted to specifically start a new channel that was just devoted to science material, because my main channel, I'm just trying to keep like strictly to trains and things like that. I've got a gaming channel, and I don't really want to clog that up with sciencey things either, but I still want to do some science videos. So that's why I'm making this third channel that I've actually technically had for a long time that had one video on it that was just of a Metra train in LaGrange, Illinois in like 2009. So I want to repurpose this channel to make some science content. So to kind of get it started, I'm not really going to go into anything like too terribly in-depth for this one. I want to actually be able to write out some scripts and find some graphics and actually put some effort into some of these videos. But at least as an introduction, I want to talk about a thing that I hear a lot of times from science deniers, or just a lot of people in general who try to argue in not intellectual good faith. It always boils down to, I hear this catchphrase over and over again of do your own research. And I want to talk about what the implications are behind do your own research and where that kind of discussion usually ends up going, and why do your own research is a lazy cop-out. So to give a little background about myself, I do have a associate's degree in journalism, and I do currently work for a news station. I'm not a reporter, I'm not an anchor, I'm not a producer or anything. I'm just a video editor and photographer. But I do still see the kind of research aspect of it from some of the other people I deal with in the newsroom. Plus, I draw back on my college experiences as well. Granted, that was several years ago now, but the point still stands. Oftentimes when I'm dealing with either science deniers or I'm in political discussions with people and I ask people to back up their sources, I am often met with do your own research and you'll come to the same conclusion. And that is not how science and academia work. If you are making any kind of claim on anything, literally anything, it could even just be, some, local news story. Like, let's say you saw something about like, oh, there's going to be a carnival in the park down the street on Saturday at like 2 PM or whatever. You can still ask like, okay, where did you hear this? And obviously the answer to that is not going to be, oh, do your own research. You're going to say, oh, well, I heard about it in such and such a place. Like I saw a newspaper article about it. I don't know if anybody still reads the newspaper, but that's beside the point. You would tell them, oh, I saw it on, such and such a thing. Like for everyday things, we don't question that in the slightest. We're just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is where I saw it. This is, this is my plan of action for what this is. And for some reason, in terms of science and politics, we've now gotten to the point where some, especially on the either science denying or certain aspects of the political spectrum, have gotten to the point where they think that giving where they saw something is spoon feeding information, and they want people to look it up themselves. And again, that is not how that works. If I am asking you to provide a source for where you saw something, it is not because I'm asking you to spoon feed me the information. I am asking you that so I can go look at the source myself, corroborate what you have said, look for other sources who are also corroborating what you have said, compare the data on that, and see if I can find any inconsistencies or things you may be, telling wrong in what you're trying to accomplish. That is the reason people ask for sources. I can't tell you how many papers I had to write in college, and every single time you make any kind of a claim that isn't common knowledge, you are required to cite the source for what you have written. This idea that citing your sources is spoon-feeding information is nonsense, because it is basic academia. If you are making a claim that, again, is not common knowledge, is something that, has statistics behind it or has data behind it, you need to cite that. You need to give where you found this source. That way people can cross-check it. People can check for biases. People can check for other sources who are corroborating this, because oftentimes these sources that people are finding are just one-offs. Sometimes they're even opinion articles. They're just people claiming things without backup. So even if you're citing something that somebody has said, you still need to dig deeper on that and find out if they're actually telling the truth. That is why, again, people ask for sources when you make claims. I see it all the time, especially in the flat earth community. We will ask people where are you getting these numbers? How do certain things work on your model? Where is your model? Things like that. And it's always do your own research and you will come to the truth. I'm like, no, that is not how that works. You are making the claim. You need to corroborate this. You need to give the evidence. That is basic academia. You need to provide the sources for the claims that you make. That is and has always been the academic standard. Which brings to another point that I will probably tackle in another video, but there is also this, especially on, again, science deniers or, in political discussions, usually involving those on the right side of the aisle, there is this disdain for authority. You can tell somebody anything until you're blue in the face, but if it comes from a source of authority, they hate it. That was the whole thing behind Donald Trump running for the presidency, is he wasn't the swamp. He wasn't the Washington ascendancy. He was supposed to break up this chain of corruption that is supposedly, going on in American politics, which we are very quickly finding out is very much not the case. But again, that is a whole separate video that I would really love to tackle. That subject, that this disdain for authority of anything, involving science, politics, whatever. It is such a interesting concept that really needs to be delved into and taken a look at. But again, that is going to have to be another video. I want to cut it off here. Again, this is just kind of an introduction to what I'm wanting to do with this channel. And like I said, to keep it separate from the other material that I'm making, whether it's the train videos on my main channel or the gaming content that I'm making on the Phoebe Snow channel. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what topics you'd like to hear me cover on this channel. I'm more than willing to explore any kind of scientific or political debate up to a point. But yeah, let me know if you want to hear any specific topics, and I will try to delve into them as much as I possibly can, because this is the kind of fun stuff that I love to do. I love to educate. I love to tell stories. I love to inform people. It's kind of why I got into journalism and news media in the first place. I mean, obviously I can only do so much as a photographer and editor. I mean, I can still tell stories just by how I edit a video together. And I have a lot of fun doing that, especially with some of the human interest stories that I get to cover at my current job. But I can only do so much with that. And I really want to explore, educating people and informing people and delving into these deeper topics that I don't really get to delve into in my current line of work. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.